Good afternoon, colleagues, and welcome to this hybrid special council meeting. I would remind all attendees the meeting is being recorded and webcast on the council's YouTube channel. I've agreed the attendance of 2 members attending remotely. And we go straight to apologies for absence to the officer. Sarah.
No apologies, Provost.
Item 2. Are there any declarations of interest or statements of transparency, colleagues? I see no hands. And in actual fact, I'm going to go back and say that there are actually 3 councillors remotely, not 2. Okay, straight into item 3. This is a requisition request. The requisition request is as detailed on the agenda. And I'll go straight to the notice of motion. And I would ask for a mover and seconder for the motion. Colleagues, please indicate.
Robert, can I give you notice of an amendment? Thank you.
Certainly. Councillor Vaughan, you're moving, you're proposing, and Councillor Fotheringham, you're seconding. Councillor Duff, you're moving and amending. Do you have a seconder?
That's correct, Councillor MacDonald.
Councillor MacDonald, thank you very much. You've got that now. There is an amendment, we're fine, and I'll go straight on to ask for questions or comments. Can we take questions first? I beg your pardon. You'll have to read out the motion because otherwise we can't ask questions. That's a bit silly. Sorry. On.
Thank you, Provost. If you just give me 2 seconds. Today is not a day that we're celebrating and won't be depending even on the result. Today is a day for Angus Council that we are looking to add improvement. The motion that I'm bringing today is to suspend, well, to part 1 for a vote of no confidence in the current administration group. I'm not going to read out the full motion that we have here, but you'll see part 1, vote of no confidence, part 2 is formation of new administration and appointments of leadership and vacancy of political appointments. Can I just say that I have a few points of clarification that I would just like to make on the motion. Points of clarification being, we couldn't have addressed these matters in the motion because we didn't know a date it was going to be called. So we're not changing the motion. The intention is that appointments to outside bodies will continue as they are until such time as a calling notice for the subsequent special council is published. 2, special civic called for on the 24th civic licensing called for on the 24th April at 10 AM would continue as called with the current membership given the statutory timescales by which these matters require to be heard. Matters of a time-critical nature, other urgent matters of business that would be disrupted, officers have considered which reports that might involve and would discuss approach with that for officers to consider along with any new administration. So just for clarification, these meetings will continue until they've finished. I would just like to say very quickly, from the outset, we felt that this administration was faltering, focusing on what we believe to be the wrong priorities. This led to significant errors in addressing the floods in Brecon and the erosion in Montrose. The change in leadership last year only accelerated the decline in our opinion. However, I would like to commend Linda Clark's efforts to present Angus Council as a caring and responsive council. It is evident that determining the council's priorities based solely on party affiliation can no longer be the norm, especially when so much is going wrong and residents are receiving less while paying for more. Therefore, I hope the administration will include members from all parties who will collaborate to get Angus back on track. There will be no more hectoring and admonishing from the administration. This will be a broad administration focused solely on protecting public services, which is all the public have ever wanted from their councillors. Together, I believe we can build a brighter future for Angus, where every resident feels heard and valued. And some of our specific goals for the future include giving priority to displaced people in Brecon and other vulnerable areas, officers will be asked to come forward with their plans ASAP. Addressing coastal erosion, another one there from Montrose. We would like to see an enhancement of public services where we can, ensuring that essential services are maintained and improved, providing better value for the residents. Community engagement, something we hear a lot about. We want to increase transparency and communication with residents, ensure their voices are heard in council decisions. Economic development plays an important part. We want to promote local businesses and attracting new investments to boost the economy. And by working together, and I mean everybody working together, I'm positive that we can achieve these goals and ensure a prosperous and resilient future for Angus through these hard times that we're currently seeing. So I would ask that we ask for support in this motion that we are raising today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wan. And Councillor Fairweather, would you like to say anything? I do. You know, there's. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Councillor Fotheringham. Can
no,
I just?
I've nothing to
Can
add
I just say Craig?
Yes, of course
Right.
you can. I have nothing to add to what Councillor Wan said, Provost. Thank you.
Councillor Duff.
Yes, thank you, Provost. I don't know whether my amendment has been circulated or not. Do you want me to read it out?
It's my instruction, Councillor. It's being done now.
Okay, that's fine. So it's a very short amendment. I'll address two issues briefly, Provost. The positive record of this administration and the consequences of voting for this motion. This administration has delivered a new Montefieth Learning Campus that is on time and on budget, due to open to pupils in August of this year. And this is the largest capital investment this council has ever done. We're in the process of delivering the Arbroath Places for Everyone project, again to date, on time and on budget. We've identified serious issues within our housing department. We did not hide these. We made these public. We shared them. We set out plans to tackle with these issues. We set up a new standing committee, the Housing Committee, and we made the committee management structure cross-party in nature. We introduced a modification to our household waste system to ensure we remain compliant on recycling, and we saved money. We delivered a successful agreement with an investor to develop Carnoustie Golf to ensure major tournaments continue to visit Angus. Recently, we successfully delivered a budget by a 15-10 vote that created an infrastructure fund which will address years of underfunding in our county, but one specifically that was designed to address climate change related issues in Brechin and in Montrose. It's significant that the budget supported by those, the 13 on this requisition, did not address these issues at all in their budget. And I noted that Councillor Wan remarked on the fact that these projects need to be advanced. This administration took responsible, financially competent action to address a major issue. We put £20 million of spending in our budget specifically to cover these two issues. The 13 on the requisition offered nothing to their constituents in Montrose and Brechin. There was nothing in either of those budgets that addressed the issues of Brechin or the coastal erosion issues of Montrose. If we are incompetent by putting £20 million in the budget, what say the parties who put nothing in their budget? I know from work that officers are doing so far that this infrastructure fund needs to grow well beyond the initial 20 million to address the scale of issues across Angus. There is a huge list of projects that we need to invest in, and we made a start in the budget this year, and we were the only group that did that. I'll turn now to the process we are discussing today. Members must be really clear that a decision to vote for the motion here is only part one of a journey, and we will have a second special council to negotiate, which, given the split nature of the council, may give us a mixed administration that will not deliver sound government for Angus. That's a high-risk strategy for members. And voting for my amendment and the status quo is the best result for stability for your constituents. Please support the amendment.
Well in time, Councillor Duff. Councillor MacDonald, would you like to say something?
Not at this stage, Provost.
I'm quite happy to leave that. Floor's open to debate. Sorry, question time. Question first. On the amendment. On the amendment. Oh, sorry.
On the motion or the amendment?
Right, sorry folks, I'm a little bit nervous today, as you can appreciate. Questions on the motion or an amendment? I've got Councillor Devine. What is yours on, Councillor?
On the motion.
Can I speak now? Can you just speak now, please?
Thank you, Provost. I would really just like some clarification on the business of appointing leadership. We are asked to appoint a leader and a deputy leader of the council, of the administration, sorry. That is not what we usually do. We usually, that is up to the administration to decide who is going to be their leader and their deputy leader. As a council, at statutory meeting, that's not what we do. We vote in the Provost. So I would like to just ask that question of you, please.
I'll get some clarification for you, Councillor.
Thank you, Councillor Devine. Yes, just to clarify that the formation of an administration requires a statement as to who the leader and deputy leader will be. This is in accordance with standing orders that refer to the administration and the leader and deputy leader having been appointed by the administration. And that is the purpose of having that within the motion, to confirm if an admin is formed who the leader and deputy leader would be.
Is that okay, Councillor? Any other hands? Councillor Whiteside.
Thank you, Provost. Just clarification around about the Housing Committee specifically. There's a very important meeting due to take place on Thursday with critical papers on the houses affected by Iraq and the repairs options appraisal, and I'm not clear what is proposed for that meeting.
I'll sort that. Councillor, can I just ask Alison? Mrs. Watson?
Thank you, Councillor Whiteside. We have looked at the impact if this motion was to prevail today, and we've looked at the impact on the meetings that are due to come up. We've discussed with authors of reports, those that are time critical, and the ones you've mentioned have been identified. If we were in a position where the Housing Committee was postponed and had to be rearranged, we would make arrangements for those reports to be heard as soon as they can be, whether that be by a subsequent special council meeting. And we are conscious as officers of the implications, but we have got those, looking at options for those as soon as we possibly can.
If I could just come back on that, I think the residents of the affected properties will be really disappointed that that might be the result of this meeting.
Thank you, Councillor Whiteside. Are there any more questions? I see no hands. We can go to comments. Any comments, colleagues? Okay, thank you very much. I'll just get direction on the next move. Councillor Wan, do you want to sum up, please?
Sorry, I should know by now. Thank you, Provost. Just very quickly, I'm not going to hold on any longer, but I would just like to say, please support this motion. We are looking for change. We believe that we can offer a more transparent, a more collaborative council, and that's something I think that the people of Angus have been crying out for. So I would urge you to support this motion today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wan. Colleagues, we now go to the vote, and I will leave this to my councillor officer colleagues because they have to exercise that vote.
Thank you, Provost. The motion by Councillor Wan, seconded by Councillor Fotheringham, is as provided in the requisition request in the paper circulated to members. The amendment by Councillor Duff, seconded by Councillor MacDonald, is as circulated to members by my colleague Mrs Doak. Please vote motion or amendment. Provost.
Amendment.
Deputy Provost.
Amendment.
Councillor Beattie.
Amendment.
Councillor Bell.
Amendment.
Councillor Boyd.
Amendment.
Councillor Braze.
Amendment.
Councillor Cowdy.
No vote.
Councillor Cruikshanks.
Motion.
Councillor Devine.
Amendment.
Councillor Doran.
Motion.
Councillor Duff.
Amendment.
Councillor Durno. Amendment. Councillor Fotheringham.
Motion.
Councillor Gall.
Motion.
Councillor Gregg.
Motion.
Councillor MacDonald.
Amendment.
Councillor McLaren.
Motion.
Councillor Meakin.
Motion.
Councillor Melville.
Amendment.
Councillor Gavin Nicholl.
Motion.
Councillor Louise Nicholl.
Motion.
Councillor Proctor.
Motion.
Councillor Scott.
Motion.
Councillor Shepherd.
Amendment.
Councillor Speed.
Motion.
Councillor Stewart.
Motion.
Councillor Wan.
Motion.
Councillor Whiteside.
Amendment.
The motion is carried by 14 votes to 13.
If I could just come in for a minute, please. I'm just going to afford myself a couple of minutes, if you don't mind. Today's difficult for everybody, and we knew it was going to be, but I have to commend you, as my colleagues, for how you've conducted yourself today. It's not been easy for me either, but I'd like to thank people for supporting me as your Provost for the time that I've had it. And I would ask somebody else, when you take up this role, to try and make sure that it is given the support that it needs, because it is a very important role. And I'd like to thank my good friend, Councillor Boyd, as well, because he was in it with me. And it wasn't always easy. It's not always easy. I'd like to thank as well Councillor Proctor, who seemed to believe in me forever. And I thank him for that. This is not easy and won't be easy. But I'd like to thank you all, and we just have to go on supporting Angus folk the way that it's necessary. Thank you, Council.
Can we stop the live stream, please?